Good evening. Whew! Sorry to be a minute or so late. I was adjusting the camera, which just did not want to play with me. But we're here now. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy middle of the week in the middle of whatever is going on in your life. Our intention in being here is that if you need a little lift, if you need a little faith, if you need a better understanding of your relationship with Spirit, well, that's why we're here. And you are just ever so welcome to be here with us. I kind of like to think that we're a kind of spiritual clinic. We'll help you feel better if you're feeling bad, and we'll help you feel even better if you're feeling fine. And, well, we can also function as a spiritual urgent care if that happens to be what you need at any given moment. So just let us know where you are. And we're here Wednesday evenings at 7 and Sunday at noon. Just come join us. To get us all playing off the same page, I'd like you to listen to a few words. And if they resonate with you, please, well, feel free to repeat after me. There is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
There is a creative, motivating power in the universe.
It is the intelligence
It is the intelligence
and the power
and the power
and the love
and the love
behind all of creation.
behind all of creation.
And it is the life within me.
And it is the life within me.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
There. Okay. So here we all are. Hi, Lainey. Been missing you too. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. And boy, right up at the top, you're not going to miss a moment. Like Jennifer, what's up Wednesday? Maybe that's what we could call this instead of Wednesday Matters. I'm cooling off.
Then you gotta call it Sup Wednesday.
Sup Wednesday? Sup Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Brenda. Glad that you're here. So, what's going on in the world, do you think? I haven't seen the news yet because we watched the 6:30 edition of the news, and I'm busy in the last half hour before we go on the air. So, if there's been any major changes in the last little bit, I'm not aware of them, but the last time I checked, people were still questioning climate change. So I was thinking maybe they should check in with the people, in Germany and China and Romania and Pakistan and Nigeria and Colombia and Iran and Austria and New Zealand and India and Japan and Luxembourg and Turkey and Belgium, and I've probably forgotten a few, but they've all been underwater for the past, I don't know how long, but I mean underwater to the point where houses are collapsing and people are disappearing. Or perhaps we could change the subject completely and talk about the people who are sweltering and living in drought conditions in the west coast of the United States, and I'm sure other places. On the brighter side, the Tokyo Olympics are scheduled to start just practically momentarily, and there is still apparently some consideration being given to calling them off because of COVID. I wonder what they'll decide. Nancy Pelosi has called off Jim Jordan's appointment to the January 6th investigation committee, whereupon Jordan said that Pelosi was responsible for Capitol security on January 6th. Can you imagine that little woman stopping all those people all by herself? I actually could imagine that. She's pretty powerful. Anyway, all the fact checkers got on it and discovered, to no one's surprise, I guess, that the Speaker of the House has no power to command or tell what to do or designate the security of the Capitol. There's a whole group of paid people who do that. Oh, and there's so much more. But this is not intended to be a news show, and it's taking an interesting turn right now. I just wanted to point out that there seems to be a lot of stuff going on in the world. And I guess my real question is, how does any of that affect us? You? Or maybe more simply, what's going on in your life? What is going on in your life? Jennifer's had a week and it should be Friday. Oh, God, I've lived through a few of those weeks. I'll be talking about this one a little bit today. Yeah. Wild, wild, wild week at work. Ooh, why does that not sound like a good thing? You tell me. Okay, Lainey, you got it. I see the prayer request in there. Yeah. Affected your motor skills. So how is that really playing out in your life? Has it been a real problem, or I mean, if it's a major effect on your motor skills, it's going to be a real problem. If it's hard to focus in conversation, isn't that interesting? I can understand why you'd get tired. That certainly makes sense. So inconvenient. Oh, Lainey, spoken like a real practitioner. This is just not convenient. Yeah, I know she's got it. Lainey's one of the best practitioners ever, I think, because she lives it. She practices it herself, and that makes such a difference. There we go. Okay. I write these down, you know. Because it helps me remember. Uh, yeah, I can see where typing would be frustrating. Do your fingers want to go places other than where they're supposed to go? Or do they just go places? That's interesting. Eating healthier, good. I'm glad that makes such a difference. Eating and taking care of yourself, sweetie. Taking care of yourself. You're so good at taking care of others. And at the risk of sounding like I'm putting a whole group of people down, and I don't mean to be, but my experience tells me that most women are better at taking care of others than they are at taking care of themselves. So we got to do all of that, don't we? Eat better, exercise. I'm still not real good on the exercise part. I keep finding excuses not to. But I'm going to. I am committed to. I'm working on illustrating Spirit's book right now, and that takes me a whole lot longer than I thought it was going to take me. I thought I could just whip it out and not turn it out that way. But I'm down to cleaning up the sketches now, which is a good thing. Um, Good, Lainey. Yeah, take naps. Let your brain rest. It's been through a trauma. So give it a chance. Yeah, and I know you are. I know you are. I'm preaching to the choir here. I know. I know. But I always liked preaching to the choir. It never seemed like a problem to me to preach to the choir. I liked them. They were right there, close, and they would sing and make me happy, and talking to them was never a problem. So, how are y'all? Check in, will you? Jennifer needs the week to slow down and calm down. Brenda, how are you doing, babe? Let me know. Thems of you that are here and thems of you that are hanging in the background and not saying anything. I'm going to start talking because it's what I do. Excuse me. As soon as I get that frog out of my throat. There, okay. Water for the frog. I'm going to start talking and just while I'm talking, let me know how you are and what I can be praying for. Will you, please? So, here we go. Sort of, kind of. It feels to me, speaking of Jennifer wanting it to be, thinking it should be Friday, and here we are and it's only Wednesday. Sometimes it takes time, doesn't it, for the calendar to catch up with what's going on? I know it's taken some time for the calendar and the weather to catch up with each other. But I think we can safely say now that it is summertime. The calendar tells us that summer began with the solstice on June 21st. But we've had some on and off fall and even winter weather since then, with intermittent heat waves. But the weather tells us that the temperature has definitely been rising. And of course, the real proof is that I've located every fan in the house and turned it on. I'm a weather wimp. If you haven't figured that out about me yet, I own up to it. I absolutely own up to it. I'm a weather wimp, hot weather wimp. Cold weather doesn't seem to bother me much at all. You can always put on a jacket, my theory. Or put a blanket around you. But when it's too hot, it's just too hot, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. I usually start pouting in May and get to full-on whining by July, and I'm there.
It was earlier this year.
Was it earlier this? Did I start before May?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
In June. I mean, yeah, in April when it was hot.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I live with a person who has the exact opposite, the polar opposite body reaction to weather. If it gets below 72, she starts chattering.
Yes.
Yes, no argument at all. She loves it when it's hot and warm. And that's when, about the time I start whining, she starts smiling. And then later in the year, we just cross paths going in the opposite direction. Summertime. Summertime. The poets and the writers glory in it. Emily Dickinson said, I reckon when I count it all, first poets, then the sun, then summer, then the heaven of God, and then the list is done. Before heaven, summer? Before hell, summer, according to some of us. Okay, so Henry James wrote, Summer Afternoon. Summer Afternoon. I think they're all drinking laced tea. To me, those have always been the two most beautiful words in the English language. Really? Okay, sure, the words are pretty, but the thermometer kind of messes it up for me. Shakespeare. Summer's lease hath all too short a date. Really? George Gershwin. Summertime. And the living is easy. Well, okay, I do like summer nights. Sitting out on the patio with a breeze. Yes, there has to be a breeze. Or I'm back inside with the fans. The breeze and maybe a glass of iced wine. I do try to be honest on this show. Everything gets iced for me in the summertime. Summer, the season of fullness of light, of an abundance of light, of an abundance of summer beauty things. Fruits are wonderful and taste sweeter. Life feels a little sweeter sometimes in the summertime when it's not too hot. Is that your experience of summer so far? Well, if it's not, may I make a suggestion? And I'm saying this as much for me as I am for any of you. Okay? Why not change your mind? Okay, there it is. Changed, isn't it? Okay, how about change your language? I mean, we know that the words that we speak are creative, aren't they? So say it with me, because I really do need some support with this idea, and I'm thinking some of you might too. But I've been practicing today. So say it with me. It's summertime.
It's summertime.
And the living is easy.
And the living is easy.
I've changed my mind.
I've changed my mind.
So I've changed my life.
So I've changed my life.
And it was easy.
And it was easy.
There. See? Done. And it works. All right, I hear someone's voice saying, wait, slow down. Not quite so fast, Marlene. You aren't going to change decades of complaining about the heat in the summer quite that easily. There's got to be more to it than that. Okay, yeah, there's more to it than that. Shakespeare said, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor men's cottages, princes' palaces. But here's the secret. Me, you, we don't have to do it all alone. Though we speak the words, especially if we speak the words with any good intention, what we need to know is that we don't have to make it happen. That's not our job. Our job is to say the words with as much belief as we can possibly pour into them. Our job is to be ready and willing to change our minds. Ready and willing to be cool, to live easy, to stop affirming and suffering with difficult, whatever the difficult might be. Our job is to embrace cool and grace as a concept and as an experience, our experience. We've got to expect doors to open, the sun to shine, the way to be made clear, the interview to go well, the doctor's appointment to be pleasingly surprising, the heart to hear, and God to be willing. We can do that. It's just that doubt and fear have to go. And in their place must come faith and confidence. We must trust that we will be led by Spirit to good and to good results and good experiences. That we will continue to learn that even in the midst of circumstances, right in the middle of the muddle, there's God. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this or not, but you're all family. And I had a really interesting experience in the past couple of weeks. I went to Kaiser to have some blood work done, and I got a call from my doctor who said, your lab work looks a little weird. Will you go back and take it again, and let's see if there was a mistake? Yeah, I said, Okay, and she said, "Oh, and I'm going to add a couple of other tests to check out some stuff." Well, I said, "All right," and I went back in the next day and did the blood tests again, and the two new tests that she added, and fairly quickly discovered that the numbers were still the same, which was apparently not great news. Then I looked up the two extra tests, and I didn't like what they were for. But ultimately, one of the extra tests was negative, and one of them was positive, and that's when my doctor referred me to yet another doctor who who I got to see yesterday. But and here's the important part. I wasn't worried. Even after I googled what the tests were for, I wasn't worried. Cac asked me a couple of times, was I worried? And I said, no, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. I really didn't expect that the test that was negative would be anything else but negative. What it pointed to, I just don't do. I just don't. That's my belief system, and it's worked for me very well so far. But I was curious because I tend to do rare things, and I wondered what rare thing I was up to this time. But I wasn't worried. God takes care of me. I know that. Rare things or not. Sure enough, yesterday's doctor said that I had come up with something that was unusual. My other doctor called it rare. And not curable, but very handleable, very fixable. And he wrote me a prescription. And he said we would work out the dosage and it would take a little time, but not to worry. I almost laughed out loud. See, there is that within me that responds to my belief that ultimately God takes care of me. I don't know why. I probably still have work to do, but for now, I'm good. Really good. And frankly, an even greater believer than I was yesterday morning. The doctor, in all of what he said the magic words, don't worry. And I thought, I don't. I don't. I consider worry pretty much a colossal waste of time. It can't change anything. It doesn't do anything except make you feel worse about whatever it is that's going on. So, I've abandoned worrying. Albert Camus wrote, "In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer." My experience was that in the depth of summer, I finally learned that within me there is an invincible power. What a concept. Within me, within us, each of us, is an invincible power. I'm starting to understand what the poets are trying to see and to tell me. I think we must come to know that we are invincible. The challenge seems to be that most of us seem to have a challenge getting to that perfectly ideal, invincible summer place. We tend to ask ourselves, how hot is it going to be there? How do I get there? Where's the map? Who else is going? Do I have to go with them? We ask all of those questions, and in the process, miss the real questions that we need to be asking. Is this a good thing? Will this possibly help create a constructive life? Does this demonstrate a more abundant life? Does this enrich my life and the lives of those that surround me? Where is the blessing in this? What am I to learn? If our answers to those questions are affirmative, yes, it's creative, yes, it makes a difference, yes, it enriches some lives, yes, if I pay attention, it will do no harm and it will do only good. See, then creation will back it up. It doesn't matter what it is, what it is. Jobs, relationships, money, weather, health, anything. Because everything comes from the same source. And there's no big or little in God, no important or unimportant. And there's nothing in creation, nothing in spirit that would deny you the greatest possible expression of life. But you have to know it. You have to look what seems like a real problem, like a real imposition, like a real challenge. You have to be able to look it in the face and say, God is in the middle of this, and so I will find it. See, God doesn't compromise. And God never said it had to be difficult. But we've got to begin to believe that life can be easy, that we can be cool. We've got to begin to believe that this thing that looks like a challenge, that looks like a curse, contains a blessing. We've got to begin to believe that God is willing and able to respond to our prayers and know that whatever shows up in our life is in some way an answer to prayer if we just pay attention. And we've got to believe that the process is not just simple, which it really is. We're wired for it. We just forget that. But that it can also be easy, which it really can be, if we will let it. We get to choose. I think we've got to start thinking of God, of creation, as a friend, as something that is on our side, not something to be placated or outsmarted or praised until its ego is assuaged. We got to learn to expect the best from our friend and live our lives in such a way that the best becomes our experience. James Russell Lowell wrote, "In creating, the only hard thing is to begin. A grass blade is no easier to make than an oak." If we wish to live in heaven on earth, we've got to start living like a committed resident of heaven lives. We've got to begin to live a godlike life. The way to get to know any territory is to live like the natives. When in Rome, when in paradise. When you want to live in heaven on earth, you have to realize that it's not a different place. It's just a different state of mind. We've got to stop separating our thinking from our experience. Our thinking creates our experience. Everything we do will be successful when we believe in our success. And we will, I am sure of it, we will, in the perfect time, be led to those things which will succeed. When we bring a realization of the presence of creation into all that we think and say and do. Then we will begin to prove to ourselves and to others that spirit is in everything, even in the slightest things which we undertake, and certainly in the more sizable things. We have to begin to know that there is no greater small to creation. There is no difference between a drop of water and the entire ocean, between the ocean and a river, between a river and a creek, except the space available to fill, and the content of the water, which is whatever is necessary to provide life for whatever lives therein. And there is no difference to creation between you and what you hold in your mind. What you hold in your mind to be hard, and what you hold in your mind to be easy. Expect that the space you have made available to be filled. Your mind creates the space. If the space feels overcrowded and difficult to sort out, what you need to change is what you believe. We never need to wonder if what we are going to do or what we want will be hard or easy. That's not our job. Creation knows no hard or easy. We're the ones that put those words and attach them to our thoughts. Creation just knows how to create. It's what it does. We have to learn to have faith in creation, faith in life, faith in ourselves, and faith in the life that we live. Ultimately, we will know the truth by its demonstration in our lives. The proof of the presence of creation, responding to every thought. Creation will reveal itself in your life. It must reveal itself in your life if you let it. Ernest Holmes said, I think we must not separate life from thinking or creator from its creation. One is source, the other is flow. One is first cause, the other is effect. The spiritual world reveals itself in the material world. Every day, every minute. But we must believe it to be true, to see it, to feel it, to live it. We must believe it. If your life is not what you want it to be, or not playing out the way that you think it should be, check your beliefs. Check your beliefs. What do I really think about this? What's the chatter going on in the back of my mind? And if it's not what you know it should be, change it. You know, they say fake it till you make it. There's something to be said for that. If you find that you do not really believe what you know you should be believing to have the life that you should be living, create a mantra. You've all heard me say my old one used to be, there's me thinking that, and I don't think that way anymore. And finally one day I realized I didn't need to say that anymore because I didn't think that way anymore. In 1580, Montaigne wrote, "My trade and my art is living." What a great mantra to adopt there. Or better yet, here's a great idea. Tom Lear once claimed that the most popular plays and movies had theme songs that you could hum. And he tried to prove his point by creating a theme song for Oedipus Rex, which would not necessarily be appropriate for tonight's closing song. Don't go there. But the idea is still valid. You know how somebody will say something and a song pops into your head and you can't get rid of the song? Or you hear a phrase and you set it to music in your own head and then there it is and you're stuck with it. The idea is good. Why wouldn't we adopt a personal theme song that we could hum along with? Why not? Here's a suggestion. Summertime and the living is easy. Come on, say it with me. Summertime and the living is easy. You already know the tune. And it's G-rated, unlike Tom Lear's song. You can hum it in your head. Summertime and the living is easy. Or you can just say the words. Say it, sing it, pray it, believe it, and you will find yourself living it. Why would you not want that? According to Shakespeare, if you do that, your eternal, invincible summer shall never cease, and you shall live it through all the seasons of your life. Now that's a summer that even I can and do appreciate. Summertime, and the living is easy. Yeah, I can live with that. A happy rest of your summer. Whether or not. Let me check in over here on what you've been saying. Ooh, that's a rough thing, Brenda. We definitely are gonna pray, sweetheart. Jennifer, you're amazing. Good grief, Brenda. All from the medicine? Okay, see, Jennifer, you've already got a head start on this. You've got a recording of Sabrina doing Summertime. Play that until, especially that one line, Summertime and the living is easy. Just get stuck in your head. Stick it there. Put it there on purpose. And let it play like on a continual loop until that's your truth. Lots of prayers, Brenda. Lots and lots. See, I know how powerful you all are. I do. Not a doubt in my mind. And what I really want to see is have you turn that power on yourselves. See, I know that anyone you're praying for is handled. That's why I love it when you jump on and say you're going to pray for each other, because I know how powerful each one of you is. So what I want you to do is use that power in your own lives for yourselves. I know it's easier to use for somebody else. We forget. We forget how powerful we are. And then somebody says, oh, I've got this is broken, or that's not right, or I don't feel right. And we go, let me pray for you. Knowing, and we know that our prayers are powerful and that they will make a difference. And yet the next day we could be whining about the same thing ourselves. Okay? So let's get over it. Let's just get over it. Let's just finally admit that we're powerful and turn that power on in our own lives, because this is what I know. When we can take care of the stuff in our own lives, we're going to be in even better shape to help others take care of the stuff in theirs. Yeah? Yeah. I know we are. I know we are. Summertime. Summertime. And the living is easy. See, the weather to me is just a symbol. It's like putting us on notice. I think this world is on the verge of something. And I think we get to decide whether that something is going to be disaster or the discovery of our own power and our own divinity and our ability to make change. And I don't think it's too late. I think it's time to roll up our metaphysical sleeves and get to work. Time to pray. Time to be big enough to get over our grievances and our petty complaints. Time for us to get involved. Time to stop littering our minds with worry and frustration and things we can't do anything about. Time to let go of things we can do nothing about. The past is the past. So what? Ultimately, if we live the right life, then the past and any of the transgressions in it will be relegated to footnotes in the history of our lives. Oh, and incidentally, blah, blah, blah. We've got to get over what others have done or not done to us, or what we have done or not done. What we think today will create tomorrow. It's done unto us as we believe. And nothing in the past can affect tomorrow if we change our minds today. So who do you want to be? There's a perfect pattern within you. You know it. You know it. I know you know it. It shows up as those things you're called to, that you're called for. It shows up in the talents that you've got, in the dreams that you have for yourself and for the world. And that pattern will begin to take form and will be revealed if you're just willing to be you and to love. Ultimately, I think love is the non negotiable imperative, but we can discuss that on another time. Love yourself, love your world, love others. What the heck? Everybody's just trying. They're just trying. Please notice that I did not say you had to like everybody. I don't like everybody. And you don't have to love everything everybody does. That would be insane. But you do have to love them, forgive them. Love them without judgment. Just be aware. I'm preaching to the choir again, I know it. Ah, Jennifer, yes, update on the conversation with the boss. I knew that was going to go well. You were in the mood for it. Let's pray you well, Brenda. Let's just pray you well. Let's pray you well. Are you willing? Are you willing to let go of whatever, all of it, and move on? You'll have to be a whole different person because you've been under this spell for a very long time. Let's get you well. I just keep feeling like you've got work to do. Let's pray. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just soft focus. Do whatever works for you. The whole point is to bring your attention within and not be distracted. We're so easily distracted. Stop that. Let us not detour from our intention, which is to heal. And let us not be distracted by appearances or conditions or situations, because all of that was created by thinking in the past, and now we have the opportunity to change our minds, and that will change our lives. Deep breath. Follow your breath. Follow your breath. Let it take you within. Let it take you deeply within. Let it silence the voices and the excuses and the reasons and the distractions. Breathe and follow the breath within to that secret place, that holy of holies, that sanctuary within. And if it feels like you have to cut through a forest to get there, then pull out your spiritual machete and cut. Go to the door and go in. Open the door of the sanctuary and go in. This is your place, your holy of holies, your sacred spot. Let nothing deter you from going in. And in this secret place, in this holy of holies, there is only good to know. Peace and healing and joy and love and safety, sanctuary, sanctuary. And I know that what we believe in this place creates our reality, and I know that in this place we can know good not only for ourselves but for others, and as long as they are open, as long as they are willing, that which we claim for them must come into being. Must. For we are all one, and that one that we are is spirit expressing, and we are powerful beyond our imagining. And in this moment, we touch that place within us. We touch that power. We light the fire. And we speak our word and know that it will manifest because it must. And so I know for Lainey, clear focus. The veil lifted, the fog dispersed. Clear focus. And I know for her as well the lifting of fatigue. Her body can relax now. It is healing. It is whole. It takes the rest that it needs for now. And yet, even tomorrow, she is stronger, more able, more active, and each day stronger and stronger until she is, in fact, more alive and more vibrant than she has ever been. Look out, world. And I know for Brenda, healing, wholeness, strength, vitality, security, balance. I know that the problems that she has had in the past are, in fact, in the past. And that she, as of this moment, is experiencing a new reality, and each day stronger, each day better, each day more alive, more stable, more secure in her own body and in her own life. I know that she is healing and healed. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I know that Jennifer is back in alignment with the calendar of her life. That as of this moment, it looks and feels like Wednesday. And that's good. And I know that things around her calm down because she has important work to do. And she needs the time, and will have the time, and the energy, and the opportunity to do what needs to be done and to make the world a better place. Because that's what she is destined to do. And I know that if there are any other prayer requests, even though they have not been spoken, still they are answered. God knows. Spirit knows. Spirit knows. And the Spirit within each one of us knows and responds now to that which we have spoken. There is no time in the mind of God, and there is no big or small. There is no important or unimportant. There just simply is creation. And so we think aright, each of us, and our lives respond to that. We remember who we are. We remember what we are. We are spirit expressing. And we are so immensely happy and glad and thankful for that. For that knowledge changes everything for good. And we let go and let spirit within us express itself at the highest and most amazing level. And it does. And we are grateful. And let it be so. And so it is. It's been a good night. It's been a very good night with very good company. I love you all. I'll see you on Sunday. Bring friends. Bring friends. Let's share this. It will not take away from a thing, and it will only make us all stronger and better. That I know. Take care. I love you. We have a closing song. Little Willie Nelson never hurt anybody. Snap on over there anytime you're ready, and take care of yourself. Take care of the spirit within you. And Jennifer, pull out that recording. I love you all. I'll see you on Sunday.